A few months ago, I reviewed the MSI MPG 341CQP QD OLED Ultrawide monitor and was so impressed it became my daily driver, and I've been using it ever since to edit photos, videos, game, and do everything in between. Well, here we are a few months later, and MSI is now releasing the updated MPG 341CQPX model, which has a newer panel capable of 240Hz instead of the original 175, and after spending some time with it, I'm convinced that in 2024, if you're going to buy a 34-inch ultra-wide OLED monitor, this is the one to get. Let's talk specs and features, compare it to the competition, and find out if you agree. If you appreciate this video and decide you want to buy the 341CQP or the updated CQPX once available, consider not only hitting that subscribe button and notification bell, but using my links in the description to make your purchase, which helps support the channel. The MSI MPG 341CQPX is a 34-inch QD OLED curved gaming monitor capable of 240Hz, and at the time of this video retails for $899. It's got the usual features the current generation comes with, including a 0.03 millisecond response time, VESA display HDR True Black 400, and while not everybody offers it, a 3-year burn-in warranty for peace of mind. I'm a huge fan of the build quality, as even though there are some plastic parts, the monitor feels premium with its super thin display that's less than a 1/4 inch thick in some places. It has a glossy screen with an 1800R curve, so it isn't too extreme like some of the competition's 800R curves, and has served me well even when editing. It uses a graphene film and custom heatsink instead of fans for noise-free cooling, and a feature I see a lot of gaming monitors forget these days, a USB-C display alt port. Speaking of those connections from left to right, we've got two HDMI 2.1 ports, which support the full 48 gigabits per second bandwidth, which means a 120Hz refresh rate, variable refresh rate, and auto low latency mode. Then we've got a DisplayPort 1.4a, the USB-C display alt port we mentioned that also has 98-watt power delivery to charge your devices, two USB 2.0 Type A ports, a USB 2.0 Type B port, and a 3.5mm audio line out. And the CQPX is 100mm by 100mm VESA mount compatible. It is height adjustable, can tilt, and swivel. Has a max height of about 20.5 inches, a width of about 32 inches, and a depth around 12.5 inches, and weighs in at around 19 pounds. But it's not perfect, as there are two things I'd like to see improved. One is the large footprint the stand has on my desk, which measures almost 25 inches wide, and two is that due to the connection ports being placed so low on the back of the monitor, you can see the cables underneath from the front. If you're looking for a super clean setup in regard to cable management, there's no escaping these from being seen. If you're a creator like me who does color correction, you'll appreciate the 97% Adobe RGB, 139% sRGB, and 99% DCI-P3 color gamuts, and Delta E under 2. It's tried and tested, as I've personally been using these models to edit all my photography, like this really nice macro shot I got of a cicada, and pretty much every video on my channel as of late. The best part is I've been using the factory sRGB mode, which has proven to be reliable, so sure, a colorimeter might help, but just know you don't have to use one to get good results. It's not the brightest monitor out there, as it delivers an average of 250 to 300 nits, but I edit and game in a dark room, so even HDR mode for my environment tends to be too bright. But honestly, the colors you get from this quantum dot panel are among the most beautiful you'll find at this point in an ultra-wide OLED. Black levels are impressive, as you'd expect, and compared to the matte displays the competition offers, it's a no-brainer, at least for me. For gamers, it's got adaptive sync technology, so no need to worry about whether you have an AMD or NVIDIA card, as well as the Gaming Intelligence app to configure your monitor, Game Assistance if you need a crosshair or scope, KVM to control multiple devices with a single keyboard and mouse, console mode, which again supports 120Hz, VRR, and ALLM, and built-in CE so when you wake up your PS5 or gaming console, the monitor will also power up. And of course, the whole point of the new panel, a 240Hz refresh rate over the previous 175, so your gameplay will be even smoother than before. And since the monitor is Clear MR 13000 certified, it means it passed a number of tests based on blur performance, so you can expect a solid gaming experience. Now, if you've seen my recent review of the Samsung OLED, you'll know there's a whole fiasco going on over there on whether the 3-year warranty covers burn-in or not. Well, you don't have to worry about that here, as it's written clear as day on MSI's website, OLED 3-year burn-in warranty. To prevent burn-in from happening, you get MSI OLED Care 2.0, which features boundary detection, taskbar detection, and multi-logo detection, which will reduce the luminance of those things to prolong the panel's lifespan, and pixel shift, which, as it implies, moves the pixels of the screen around to help prevent static images. You get static screen detection, which reduces luminance if it detects the image has been up too long, like when you go AFK, and panel protect, which refreshes the monitor's pixels every so often. You'll get a message about every 4 hours asking you to do so, or you can set it to automatically engage when turned off after 16 hours of usage. Now, I've been using the 341CQP for the last 4 months in ways you're advised against with an OLED, as I edit daily, having tons of windows up with borders, desktop icons, and just a lot of things that could be cause for concern, and can report that so far, using all the preventative features of OLED Care 2.0, I haven't run into any burn-in issues yet. Now, I've seen a lot of chatter online regarding the subpixel layout, and people hoping the new 240Hz panel would improve text fringing, and while I'm not really bothered by any fringing this monitor has as I've gotten used to it, it does unfortunately still have the same subpixel layout as the Gen 1 panel used on the original CQP, which is evident when I use my macro lens, as you can still see the diamond-shaped pattern. But from everything I've researched, it seems every 2024 QD OLED 34-inch model this year, regardless of brand, will be using the same panel. So if you're looking to buy this year, this would still be my pick. Let's compare to the competition. With what's available right now, there's the LG UltraGear 34GS95QE OLED model, which might have a newer, improved subpixel layout, but only comes with a 2-year warranty instead of MSI's 3-year, has a much steeper 800R curve many find off-putting and wouldn't be ideal for editing, has a matte screen many don't like, and is $400 more than the 341CQPX at $1,299. It does currently have an $899 sale price to match, but with everything else I mentioned, it wouldn't be my choice. Then there's the Asus ROG PG34WCDM, which is pretty much just like the LG. It's got a 2-year warranty instead of 3, has the steeper 800R curve, also has a matte coating, and retails for $1,299. No sale price here, once again, the MSI wins. When we look at what's coming out later in the year, you've got the Acer Predator X34X5, which is almost a carbon copy of the MSI, but won't be available until the last quarter of the year, and will have a higher $1,099 price tag, and the Gigabyte Aorus MO34WQC2, which again offers everything the MSI does, but so far has no release date or pricing. Now, if it's me and I'm going to wait until the end of the year, I might as well wait until next year's offerings and see if a new lineup gets announced with an even newer panel. At the end of the day, as someone who's been using the 341CQP happily and will now be transitioning to the X model as my daily driver, this would absolutely be the model I'd recommend if you're looking to buy a 34-inch OLED model this year. If you found this video helpful, let me get a thumbs up, and once again, using those links will help support the channel so I can keep making more content like this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, or if there's something you'd like to see reviewed on this channel. But that's going to wrap things up for today. I'll see you next time.